best of 13, race to 7. 50 minutes on the match clock, 30 minutes on the shot clock. And it's Arfan Dad to get us underway in frame 1. Haven't seen too much of Arfan out in the main arena of late. He's had one very good result this season, semi-final of the Players' Championship. Courtesy of that is holding a top 16 ranking at the moment, but a couple of earlier round exits in the Pro Series.
Well, a decent opening chance here for Arfan. Yellow's all free and available, just the black ball looks a bit dodgy.
He's got a breakout ball near the 8 ball, but he's going to have to turn up in quite a specific way. Just a slight technical issue here, just getting the scoreboard and the clock out in the arena sorted. Arfan's just going to go back to his chair for a moment. Gillespie just sitting looking on as well. Doesn't really matter too much at the beginning of the match. It's a bit annoying if you have a break like this when a few frames have been played, because the players have got a bit more to dwell on, but right now no one's really done anything. It's important it's not just the scoreboard, but as playing to a timed format, the players obviously need to be able to see the shot clock properly. Right, that issue resolved. Arfan will come to the table to have a first look at these yellows.
Yellow balls in play.
So no issues with the yellows at the top of the table, just a case of transitioning down at some stage, leaving an angle to get access to the 8 ball. End of term feel today, understandably. End of the weekend and end of our final trip to Blackpool. Up here 5 times for the Pro Series this year. On to some different venues for next year. Well, he's got an angle on the ball in the middle, but doesn't really want to have to take that first. If he plays the one at the bottom, he's going to struggle to get back to the same angle. If he can quite make the angle to play any cannon off this shot.
Try to dig down with a load of side there, but it's the wrong side of this yellow. Just looking at the black there, it's very close to that red, and I don't think, even if you pot this yellow and kick that other red out of the way to free up the path for the black to double into the middle, I don't think it actually does double. So I think the only shot you can play is run the yellow in and play the black off the red into towards the bottom right hand corner. Okay. Looking at a double into the top right hand corner. So this has to be played with a lot of left hand side to sort of widen the angle. We're going to see it before him. And that is wide.
Not sure that angle was ever really there, but what else did he have?
Well, when it was, because it was touching the red, I think if he went past it, came back down into his bottom right hand corner, it might have just pushed off there into that general direction anyway. But Scott now going to bide his time. It's just a straight one cushion escape, and it's quite possibly could cut this black in that corner.
It's worth a try from his perspective, erring on the thin side to give himself a chance of potting the black. It's not a high chance, obviously.
It's close. Great effort. I'll tell you what, not a bad cue ball either.
No, it was a good result all round because he's got the 8 ball over the pocket, so some pressure on the safety. And from being in complete control of the frame, Scott's got a bit of a problem here. He's going to have to play a good shot to get this safe.
Extension hold.
Oh, great shot there from Gillespie.
Played as a shot to nothing, as you can see, but it's the kind of shot, if you miss the pot, you end up missing the position as well, so it was important that he got that. The 2 balls in the break area look like they're not far off being a plant, so there's a route to those. It's not ideal having the 2 balls at the bottom on opposite side cushions. Well, in fact, he thinks he can get through behind the 8 ball, so that works as well. It's all about landing nicely on the ball on the left-hand rail. That's going to be the tricky one. You'd much rather play the one on the left rail first, not the one on the right rail, because it would be a difficult transition that way around. The angle to do that, so he's going to have to play it this way. Is he going to just play for the double on the one on the left rail, or is he going to try and get over that side of the table and drop in behind it? Oh, that's a good shot. It's never ideal to play the positional shot that way round because that middle pocket always played big, and if he wasn't quite close to it, it then became missable. That's about as well as you could possibly play it.
Yeah, very tidy from Scott Gillespie. This black for the opening frame.
Well, good finish in the end. Once Arfan missed the 8 ball, you should have expected Scott to be left a much easier chance than that, but had to pull out a pressure double to get underway and then a couple of other decent positional shots. It's been a good weekend for Greg Batten. Came very close to making his first Pro Series final. Looked a decent break from the first contact. Ball certainly spread around well enough. First go though for Arfan Dad. It's dropped nicely on the ball top right. That was always going to be one of the most difficult ones to get on. Very solid player, Arfan. A lot of experience of the game. Good understanding of what to do and pretty solid technique.
just I'm in an hurry what to do with these two in the middle. I know he'd like to leave the red on the left till last just to screw down for the black to make it really simple, but he's not going to be able to do that now. He's going to have to take that one. Does he just pot this centre cube in top rail with left hand side and come off the cushion and through that gap of those two yellows, get right behind it, or does he just play it softly and take a longer black?
It's gone the other way. He's played a good shot. You've got to be quite careful playing it that way.
Right, exactly.
Slide off the cushion.
And yeah, end up behind that yellow over there. That's why I would have come off the other way, but he's played it really well. And then goes the black, and Arfan Dad levels things up here in Blackpool.
He is provisionally 14 in the ranking, so he's not actually in bad shape. He's had 2 pro quarters and a semi at the Players' Championship. A little bit mixed in between. Lucky not to put the cue ball in the end. Messy layout though. There's 3 balls at the top of the table, 1 of each colour in the 8 ball. Just a messy situation. No easy route in from where he is. Also a bit of congestion elsewhere. This is not a situation where you're rushing to have a go at these. The reds are the easier option because it's got the ball, the left hand of the 2 in the top right area of the table can be used to break out the cluster. Even then though, that won't be the end of the story, so a lot to do here. Not even the easiest place to play. There's not a sort of really obvious safety shot to play, which is why I'm half thinking about having a go at these.
Well, they all go. I mean, this is a thin cut back into the corner centre cubble into the 3 balls at the top of the table there. Play that really well. Just the red next to the black looks a bit tight. That red that's further down the table in between the 2 yellows, that does go into the bottom left-hand corner.
That one shot could have made this clearance because now he's got a route into the difficult ball next to the 8 ball and everything else has a pocket.
Got a little bit of an angle here. Could just get him to that red and black. He's played that nicely.
Yeah, good controlled cannon that. Any pocket the 8 ball goes in is top right, so he's either going to have to leave that red for later on or cannon into the 8 ball again. Either way, he's going to need to move this one at the bottom of the table because he's landed as well on it as he's ever going to.
Would have rather not had that cushion, that cue ball stuck to the cushion at the bottom of the table. You can only see the red that's over the bag, and in an ideal world, he wants to get the cue ball back out past that yellow that's just near the red, because obviously he can just drop it and play cut, but then you're going miles away from the black ball. So just a little bit of a tricky judgment here. And that's going to be stuck behind a yellow. Yeah, that's a horrible shot. Looked really easy, but it was just to judge the weight of that nasty little shot. Because you can actually try and belt them and you still end up there as well.
Yeah, that's the irony, isn't it? You load up with more spin and then it just checks off the cushion. You almost have to hit them slower. That was a hard one to judge. It may have looked like a careless shot, but it was difficult to get the white far enough out.
Yeah. Not stuck to the cushion, he can play a screw shot and he can control it better.
Well, it's almost spotted the black. That was going to be very tricky from where he was.
Time running.
It's not actually a great result that he's not the black out, because now Arfan's got an easy starter with ball in hand. He can take the ball along the rail and then everything else is waiting for him.
We'll probably pot this one that he's looking at now into the corner. Come down the table a little bit and then just play the yellow into the centre and use that to get down the bottom of the table. Landed a tad straighter than he would have liked. He can still change his mind. He can just roll this into the middle, play the one into the bottom corner and then the one along the bottom rail. Obviously using that yellow that's in the other one in the centre of the table, and that's his ball to get onto the black. Ideal place would be on, say, where the spot is for the front ball on the break spot. That would be nice.
He's got a little line drawn for him on the table as a guide.
Yeah, this is okay. This now has just come off the top rail now and back.
Always better playing a shot like that off two cushions, because then you're coming back out into the middle of the table. So a good clearance, not one he was necessarily expecting to get given in quite as easy a form. So second look at the Gillespie break.
Very good break there from Scott Gillespie. Yellows look very inviting for the Scotsman.
I'd be delighted with the way he's lost the last couple of frames, so good to get back at it. A lot of people tipping him for a deep run this weekend after the success he's had in recent events. Taking his time to think about this. There's not a whole lot to think about here. He's got a little bit too much angle on the ball on the break line, the middle of the three, so just coming back to get a slightly better angle. Wants to try and drop in. And then plays the ball up to the top left corner, wants to be a bit closer to it, so he's going to have a little reroute. So come down the table, just looking where he wants to screw the cue ball back to. Ideally, he was looking to be a bit further to the right of that, so he could play the right hand of these two first and then drop onto the one on the cushion. This works okay though. It would just be a more difficult shot if he has to take the one up the rail first.
Yeah, he just pinches this with a bit of bottom and comes back out. What's he done with the cue ball? Well, Scott Gillespie, an uncharacteristic mistake from there. Just got hold, seemed to get hold of this very, just sprung off that rail. You know, it's like a soft little sort of drag shot with side as you played it, but he'll be annoyed with that one.
Yeah, he will. He's had a bit more angle than he wanted, so he was just trying to make sure he missed the other yellow. But as a result, he dug into it too much. Well, he's lucky he's played that as a shot to nothing, because he was expecting to make that plant. Left the thin edge of the yellow. Doesn't really help, even if he has.
No, you can probably just skim it, but that's not going to, like you say, Mark, it's not going to do him any good. You just look at to see if you can play it off the reds and push it towards that corner pocket.
He just aims to clip it as thin as he can. Well, I was going to say, he's going to have to hit it pretty thin, isn't he? Otherwise he's going to be in the corner pocket.
Have another ball in hand, Arfan.
It's a very, very generous start to this match. I mean, in fairness, from that position, the option's obviously not great.
No. I don't think you'll see Arfan make a mistake this time, even though it wasn't a howler, because he did make sure that he was leaving nothing for Scott Gillespie on his attempting that plant. So this looking pretty much like 3-1 to the daddy.
Yeah, it wasn't a guaranteed scoreline. Scott has had chances.
Landed in a funny place there. I mean, he's okay, just slots us in and comes back round, but it's made it slightly trickier. But he's recovered the situation well.
Yeah, I think that was so easy. There would have been a case of playing the ones on the right-hand side a couple of shots ago, but just felt like he couldn't miss, which is why he's been playing so quickly.
Well, this is the thing. You can get a bit too casual sometimes. We think, well, these are all... It's just a matter of me just running them in, but you've got to give them a little bit more care and attention, haven't you?
Yeah, I mean, although easy positions by definition look easy, those are kind of the ones that win you and lose you matches sometimes. You've got to make sure you get 100%. No mistake whatsoever, though. Arfan Dad goes into a 2-frame lead.
Doubles up on the second one and comes charging through, and like you say, that didn't materialise after Arfan Dad stopped him in his tracks.
Almost confirmed as the #1 player, though. Had an unassailable lead at the top of the rankings, regardless of what had happened this weekend. This time last year there was at least a bit of jeopardy. There was a chance that Stevie Dempsey might overtake him, but made no mistake this year. Made absolutely sure that he'd got that sewn up well in advance. Generally the players aren't necessarily so concerned about the rankings, but the #1 spot, I think most players deep down actually do value having that #1 spot. It does say a lot about you given the field you're playing in. In fact, the top 2 are also confirmed. Stevie Dempsey and, well, Stevie Dempsey maybe could still have a say in it. Declan Brennan, who had been the player of the season behind Tom Cousins, he's out now. He's finished up his campaign in 5th. Chris Melling currently sits in 2nd in the rankings, but he's not here this weekend, so he won't be adding any points. Stevie Dempsey, just before this match started, came through a bit of a nail biter against Sean Story, so he's still batting. He's the highest ranked player still in the draw.
Well, Sean Story went out to Stevie Dempsey in the last 16. I was watching the end of that. That's 7-6. Craig Waddingham also fell by the wayside in the last round, 7-6 to Josh Kane. Christophe Lambert also gone. Jack Whelan's done him, 7-5. So the old quarter-final line-up, apart from obviously these two here. Following this will be Rona McCarthy against Oli Bale, the Bullet from Somerset, affectionately known as the Pellet, of course. Luke Gilbert will play Jack Whelan in our 3rd quarter, and bringing up the finale of the quarter-finals will be Josh Kane against Stevie Dempsey, which will all be played down to a winner later this evening, along with the women's pros. We'll see both semis in the final of their event 10 later today.
Yeah, a lot of pool stills will be played for this final day. Going to be bringing you live coverage of 10 matches today. This is the first of those 10. Running straight through, roll on, roll off with the 4 pro quarterfinals. So chance to get things going his way again for Scott Gillespie. He hasn't found the middle pocket again, has he? Well, he's found the jaw of the middle pocket. He's lucky he's not ended up in it. Now, what can he see? Is he angled on the ball down the cushion? Oh, it's been in off a couple of times already in this match. Very close to doing it again there. Well, had to bend the ball, but made it, so crisis averted. Ball stayed on the table. He's still in play. One more shot though, because as a result of having to bend it like that, wasn't able to play quite the same position he would otherwise have chosen for this last red. The pot's easy enough, but he's just going to swing the cue ball around. So to take his medicine, not risk trying to get too close to the 8-ball. Pretty comfortable shot, get his hand on the table, big open pocket for this. And no mistake. So in a match that could have gone either way, there's been chances flying around a little bit. It's Arfan Dad that leads Scott Gillespie by 3 frames to 2.
Very good split, but he's a little bit peeved, I think, because he wanted an easier ball to set off with. There's that yellow hanging over that middle bag, but he can't get to it because of the red in the way. He can't get to the yellow at the top of the table because there's a red in the way.
Yeah, reminder, you can't play red onto yellow. You've got to pot the ball that the colour set that you hit first to take the nomination. If you played red onto yellow, it's not a foul, but it's a loss of turn. That doesn't choose you the colour.
This could be one of those situations where you just got to accept it and take reds, because you can't really play safe anywhere. So take reds, which is obviously the harder suit. Oh, he didn't want that.
It's been the tail of the in-off so far.
It has. If you're Arfan here now, I'd be very tempted to play that yellow at the top of the table and try and move the black a little bit, just bring it off that rail a tad.
Well, how many times has Arfan come to the table with ball in hand?
Then again, if you do play that shot and move the black and the white stay stuck to that rail, you want to play with a bit of size, so it just brings the cue ball, spins on a little bit so you can see that ball over the middle bag, or get far enough that you can cut the other yellow into that same middle. Yeah, that's really well done. That's exactly how he wanted to execute that shot.
That's as good as it could have gone. You could also have ended up sticking the 8-ball in front of the yellow. It's absolutely perfect that it's gone just past the pocket.
Yeah, those are the risks you take just to get that away from that cushion. I think it's worth the risk.
Yeah, well, especially with ball in hand where you can make the angle.
Arfan just tried to nudge into the red and the yellows that are close together there. Didn't do it, but he's okay because you can still play position onto that yellow and play it into the top left. So at the moment in time, he won't be too concerned. He just wants to make sure of his route. If he does play to get on it, you don't want to be leaving yourself Chinese snookered. So bridging over the ball. So we'll be playing that yellow that's next to the red now, into the top left. Just want to run this in. So he's got his little bit of angle here, just a little bit careful of the red. He can just slide past it. It's quite close to it. If you dug any deeper, you would have clipped it and left yourself a pretty nasty shot. Having said that, he could have done with another couple of rolls on the cue ball. It's going to be hard to hold. He might have to come back and play it in the corner. Oh, well, that one wiped his feet, but he did manage to hold for the black. Down it goes, and Arfan Dad now has a 4-2 lead against Scott Gillespie.
Whoever wins will have quite a bit of time. It's the rest of the quarterfinals, and then also a bit of action from the women's series before they'll next be on the table. No bad thing really being the first quarter-final. You either book your place in a semi and then you can go and get lunch and enjoy your Sunday afternoon for a bit and then come back for the action tonight, or else you're done and can make your way home. Feels like he's just on the cusp of playing really well here, Scott. He's had a few good shots. It's just quite being able to consistently run out the frames. Too many things have gone wrong with giving away the fouls. Playing at quite a measured pace. He just wants to make sure there's a couple of frames behind. He knows the importance of this one. Oh, wow, I didn't see that coming.
Look of despair there from Scott Gillespie.
Yeah, you can't believe he's let slip a chance from where he was. I mean, it's not terrible because Arfan's got 4 balls near this pocket and no access to the pocket, so he's going to have to pull one out at the bottom end of the table. That's a good pot.
Was a very good pot.
So what he really wants to try and do is play a combination shot to open up this pocket. I mean, he could play a loss of turn, but there aren't many great places to hide the white from where he is. I think we could just play this as a combination shot and screw the cue ball back for the other ball on the right hand side.
Yeah, I think you've got to risk a combination here. If it doesn't go and the yellow stays over the back with the loss of turn, you've got to bring the cue ball back away from that other red. At least if you do block that, leaves it a bit tricky for Scott Gillespie. And he's made the shot anyway. Now I think just a little snooker up at the top here. I don't think there's no value in going. If he can just clip this yellow and up cue ball off the top rather than in behind it.
That's a good shot. There wasn't a lot of space to play with there.
No, that's all he had there really. There wasn't any value in trying to knock them apart. You can't afford to leave Scott Gillespie anything at this moment. It's about trying to carve yourself out a chance, and Scott did foul.
Time running.
So now it's ball in hand for Arfan Dad.
Feels like we could have that on repeat. It's ball in hand for Arfan Dad. That's been the situation over and over again in this match.
Yeah, I don't think Scott's smiling inside. His exterior not showing the true picture at the moment.
No. No, it's very frustrating what's going wrong. It's not that Arfan hasn't played well, but it's just he keeps getting given chances. It's making life so easy for him.
Well, this is far from easy. I mean, this is going to take some working out. You know, the ball and the yellow on the left-hand cushion down there is is obviously very tricky. He's attacked it very early. He's played that very well indeed. I mean, he can just run this in now. He's got the yellow in the middle. 2 soft shots here.
Yeah, it's actually been a really good standard from Arfan. I mean, even there, if he wasn't confident in his clearance when he had the ball in hand to start with, he could have knocked out one of the balls at the top of the table and played another snooker to try and get ball in hand again. But he's played the positive approach. And he's played a really good shot to get onto this ball.
Yeah, it's not bad. Very softly into the middle now. Just leave yourself a longish yellow up into the top right. If you can get it sort of straight, it doesn't matter if you've got an angle. There's, you know, if it's straight, you just screw back and have the black in the bottom left. If you have an angle, hello. Okay then, Arfan, we'll play the double. Never saw that coming.
Yeah, I think he just didn't want to be at too much distance, did he? From although he hasn't left it as straight as he might have done, given he's played the double.
No, he's half bridging over this black ball now, so this is a tough shot.
Yeah, this is a test of cueing. Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, great shot.
That's a great piece of cueing.
I think he'd be a bit bemused that the cue ball hasn't come out a bit further.
This has been some clearance from Arfan.
And he's hampered slightly by the red, so you'll be cutting it back into the bottom right-hand corner. Oh, it's a great shot. Very good finish there from Arfan Dad. Scott Gillespie's going to have a quick bathroom break. Important break now for Scott Gillespie. Made a couple of balls.
Yeah, it was an important break because I don't think he's quite going to understand how he's 5-2 down. I mean, he understands in that he's watched it, he's given away too many fouls, but they've all been sort of random ones that have come at unexpected moments when he probably thought he was finally getting things back on the straight and narrow. This has now become a must-win frame because the way this match has gone, if he ends up 6-2 behind, I don't think he's going to feel very confident about his prospects. 15 minutes 50 remaining on the match clock, so there is time, but if you were to have a slow frame, that's going to start getting eaten up. Still just the 2 6-red shootouts this weekend. Most matches have gone to a conclusion.
Oh, he moved all over that one. And he's got away with that. Lifted straight off that. Did Scott sort of like he hit that when he didn't. His arm was ready, but his mind wasn't ready to hit that shot. Bit out of kilter as he struck it. But fortunately for Scott, that yellow ended up over the other corner. Has to play the loss of turn now, Arfan Dad. Which he duly obliges.
He's played a pretty good shot. The easier loss of turn there would have been just to play white off red and just leave it in the jaws of the pocket, but then he leaves the yellow below the 8 ball, so he's decided to play the more difficult shot, and he was always going to leave a shot at something, but he's left it about as hard as he could from where he was. Well, how about that?
That looked like it was more hitting frustration than anything else.
Well, let's take another look at this. What's happened here? He's doubled this. Well, he sort of pushed it through. It wasn't really space, but just brute force has forced the yellow through. He's going to have to play another plant here.
Or he could play the yellow off 2 cushions back into the left-hand middle. Like this, but a bit wide. That's what he had to go out.
I think he's got to the stage, and not so much in frustration like he's not trying, but just in the sense he feels like he's got to play something positive, make something happen in this match.
He looks like a man that feels a bit aggrieved that he's 5-2 down and doesn't feel he deserves to be there. That's what he's playing like.
Extension.
I agree, and that's a fair summary of where he is in this match. The thing is, Arfan has played well. Okay, he's been gifted some of these chances, but he's actually been rock solid on all of the chances.
Yeah, he's had to make some tough putts down rails, you know, at pace. And you can only beat what's or clear up what's in front of you. You can't pick and choose. And when he's been presented with his chances, Arfan Dad's cleared up. So you can't say that Arfan doesn't deserve to be there because, you know, Scott's made the errors.
Yeah, for sure. And Scott will know that. I mean, it's more frustrating when you're just gifting away really easy chances and your opponent's not doing anything, but that hasn't been the case.
No, what it is Scott's been playing so well all season, and I mean, you know, he's landed titles, this, that and the other, like especially like the European Open. He's been fabulous, in fabulous form. And then all of a sudden, he's probably not had a match like this for quite a long time, and he's probably thought, well, where's all this come from? You know, and it's unsettled him.
Having hyped up the quality of Arfan's play, he's come short. I mean, it was a tricky shot there. He was trying to sneak the red past the yellow, but hasn't quite worked out. He has left the yellow a bit tied up though, which is why Scott's not tempted by any attacking options. Just tries to play the containing safety.
Yeah, well, all that this is going to do now, Arfan's going to. I would have thought just play the red onto the red up into that towards that top left-hand corner. The yellow at the top there doesn't really go anywhere for Scott, so Scott will have to come downstairs, maybe play a similar shot that he just played and try and get a snooker the second time. I'm now thinking about 3 or 4 shots ahead of this frame. Don't like that. Now, if I'm Scott, I'd take the chance now and move this yellow out and screw the cue ball down the table, because now the reds aren't particularly open. He's not played a good shot there, Arfan.
The key in this kind of position is keeping all of your balls potable, because then the pressure's all on your opponent.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a shot. Screw the cue ball down the table. Get the white down at the bottom of the table. Get the yellow out. Hello, has he fluked it? He has. How'd you like that?
Well, after a few moments of less than good luck, he's pulled one out there.
Yeah, not only that, he's on his next yellow as well.
Well, he needed something to get him going in this match. Could this be what he was after?
So you think it's with Arfan playing that shot and leaving Scott the option to move that out? If he'd played a good shot with the reds up there and just put it over the bag, Scott would never have attempted that. But there you are. It's now Arfan Dad 5, Scott Gillespie 3. Yes, Scott a little bit fortuitous, but again, I'll say that Arfan forced him into playing that shot by just not hitting the strong enough little plant up that rail with those 2 reds. Left on the match clock. Crunch that break. Made a ball. And what have we got? Not bad. Not bad at all. You take it. There's a little bell to let you know that it will be 15 seconds a shot for the rest of this match.
Yeah, I think that's what this match needs, isn't it? Just speed things up a bit. Give us a bit more extra entertainment. I mean, it's been a very entertaining match just because the unexpected keeps happening. It's been the tale of Scott gets in, makes some kind of mistake, and then Arfan ends up having to take out a difficult clearance, but gets given a chance for it.
Yellow up into the top right now. Might be tempted to play this yellow into the rail first and go off the red and go into the pocket and just free that pocket up then for the other yellow that's stuck at the top of the table. Well, he tried to play it straight into the red, and This is why it was better to play that cushion first, because you're guaranteed to hit that red then, rather than go into the red in a straight line, which Arfan was obviously rushed by the shot clock and missed it. Scott using the extension now just to think this through, plot his routes around these reds. Now we're going to see him get the whip out now. He's coming in towards the home straight in this match. Ooh, a little bit closer than he'd have liked to have been to that red.
This frame is now crucial. 5-4 or 6-3, and a chance to put some pressure on Arfan in a way that hasn't existed at any point in this match.
Pop this in, red in the middle will come next. Just has to make sure you can see the other red to pot into the bottom right and get the cue ball up the table for the black, so he needs to leave himself an angle here. Well, you can screw this back a touch, might have to take it to the top. He has done. A great shot there. Just looking at it, if you played that slow into the middle, you wouldn't have left yourself, I don't think, enough to hit the correct spot in the red to pot it. So this, to leave himself this long black, and this will be 2 in a row for Scott Gillespie should he sink it.
Very good from Scott Gillespie. He was out of this match at one point. He has dug very deep, and now he is right back in this match. So, can he get himself back on level terms? Scott Gillespie breaks off in frame 10. Just made a ball. One of the fiercest competitors in the game, Scott Gillespie. Saw a moment in this match when it looked like he'd almost written it off in his head, but no, he's never giving up, and now he's really going to be sensing blood.
Yellow ball's in play.
Shot clock counts down pretty quickly. Is that a time foul? I think that might have been.
This will be checked.
The referee's going to come and have a look at that. That was very close. We've come very used to the players playing as the clock counts down, but that looked like a foul. That was right on the chime.
Yeah, there's one earlier this week, and Simon Webb, I think, and Stephen Jameson were on that one, and I was sort of in the commentary box, and I thought it was okay, and it was okay. When it's a very, very short, time. I mean, we're talking like 0.2 of a second or whatever. I think that one was late.
Ball in hand.
So the decision has been made. It is a time foul. And Scott Gillespie, having ground his way back into this match and looked like he's finally got Arfan under some pressure, just had a momentary lapse of concentration. And it wasn't at a spot where there was a ton to think about. It's just that 15-second shot clock can catch you out. One of the most experienced players in the world under these conditions, but can still cause you trouble. And this is a real relief for Arfan, although it's not done yet. He really wants this frame. If he goes into the last 3.5, 4 minutes of this match with a 2-frame lead, he's going to feel like he's in a more relaxed position. But this is a pretty binary outcome. It's either going to be 5-all or 6-4. And it's going to happen pretty quickly given this short shot clock. So, is this the shot? Is he going to take the long one up the table now? Just needs to screw back past the yellow for access to the ball to the right centre. Doesn't need to do too much. Played it well. And this match has just been a tale of Arfan being invited to the table with ball in hand in spots where you wouldn't have expected it. He's very close as well to a time foul. Does just get the shot played in time.
It's unreal, isn't it?
This is more like the early days of Ultimate Pool when people weren't used to that 15 seconds where you'd see this all the time. He's got to play another shot though. Oof. Well, I tell you what, this has been a nervy frame, hasn't it?
Just a bit.
Big shot now. This for 6-4. And it's in the heart of the pocket. What a shot from Arfan Dad. A cushion that's guaranteed to be a winning one yet, but he's got a 2-frame lead, 3 minutes 14. Hard to think that there's time for 3 frames. There could be time for 2. 6-frame shootout could be in play. Arfan really just needs to stay at the table for a bit, and then the match should be his. Would have been an open enough layout that he could have been sure of potting a few balls. If the red goes through the gap of the yellows to the centre, or maybe can he just make this yellow? Oh, he can. To play with a lot of side.
Yellow ball.
Going for the positive shot, he's not going to be able to go the sort of time-wasting route here because he hasn't got enough loose balls. This is very all or nothing. If he makes this plant, he should make the clearance. Oh, great. Great shot that was.
Super shot, absolutely.
Probably past the point there was time for a 2-frame counter clearance from Scott Gillespie, so maybe not so much pressure, but it was still a very good shot. Well, this has been a very intriguing match. The result no longer in any real jeopardy because there's only 2 minutes remaining on the clock, so even if Arfan does fail to get over the line, which would be hard to imagine from this position, there wouldn't be time, but he's going to, well, in fact, he's going to offer the handshake. Scott Gillespie's done with this match. Got off to a bad start, had a great comeback in the middle, almost gave Arfan a bit of a fright, took him to level terms, but that time foul ultimately decided the match. Strange match, but a match in which Arfan Dad played very well indeed. He books his place through to the semi-finals.